Hey guys, this is Bible Q&A. Let's learn more about God today. We're going to be discussing, should Christians attend protests? The answer is no. A protest is an event where people gather to show their anger against the government for something, and Christians are expected to obey the government no matter what. As it was said in Ecclesiastes, I counsel thee to keep the king's commandment, and that in regard of the oath of God. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 2. As St. Paul told us, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Romans chapter 13 verse 1. We can also look at 1 Peter chapter 2 verses 13 to 17. In society, there has to be law and order. Otherwise, things get out of hand. If everyone rebelled against the government, there would be lots of crime and violence. Now, if leaders are corrupt, this is obviously a bad thing, but God will in His due time remove them from office or deal with their corruption. As it was said in Nahum, God is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth, and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. Nahum chapter 1 verse 2. We can also look at Daniel chapter 2 verse 21 and Deuteronomy chapter 32 verses 35 and 39. Therefore, why should we protest against their corrupt decisions when God will take care of them anyway? Sometimes we may feel that we are protesting in God's interest, like if we choose to protest a country's decision to start a war, because of what Jesus said in this verse in Matthew. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Matthew chapter 5 verse 9. However, it doesn't matter. God said that protests are bad, and by participating in them to promote peace, we are disobeying God to obey God, like Saul did in 1 Samuel chapter 15 verses 1 to 31. In this chapter, Saul was told to go kill all the Amalekites and destroy all their property, but Saul and his men brought a lot of the cattle home so they could be sacrificed to God. Sacrifices are good things, but God expected Saul to do something, so Saul's decision was bad. He and his sons would be killed, according to 1 Samuel chapter 31 verses 1 to 6, because he refused to obey God. Plus, God himself said that things like wars would happen more and more in our time. As it was said in Mark, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. Mark chapter 13 verse 7. These things are happening because Satan wants to rebel against the establishment of God's kingdom in Revelation chapter 12. He's influencing people on earth to make trouble for this kingdom. Are our little riots going to stop heavenly activity? Therefore, my advice is, instead of protesting and rioting, we should find other ways to make change, godly change that is. For example, instead of rioting against war, we can donate to reputable charities that help promote peace and support victims of violence. And that is where I'm going to stop with this Bible Q&A. Should Christians attend protests? No. Christians must obey the government. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.